coming out, I know your time is valuable. I make sure I will not waste any of that time today. You're going to get some great information today. And hopefully you will implement your business immediately. What I would like to see from any class you take like this is not to get overwhelmed with the information. I'm going to throw a lot of stuff at you. Some of the stuff may sound like, yeah, I can do this now. Some of this stuff might be a year from now, but I want you to be able to go away and take 3 things you can do action steps on in the next 24 hours. Take away 3 things that you say, I can do this today. Everybody agree to do that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So let's just shout out some things on what are you guys looking to get out of today. Just shout out what you came here for. I want to make sure you guys walk away with what you came here to get. Yes.
How to win with sellers. Yeah.
Good.
I want listings.
More listings, right? That's why we're all here, because anybody who's been in this business longer than 5 minutes knows that's where the money is. Right? If you ever read the MREA book, 8 times more time to close a deal for a buyer. Do we give up on dealing with buyers? No. But where do we focus our time? Listings. So what else? What else are we looking to do? That's like 5 minutes. So what else we got?
Confidence in the presentation.
Confidence. Confidence.
This is right there. We just got started.
What else are we looking to get out of today?
Converting
Can you
meetings
move
to
up just a little bit?
converting appointment to agreement.
Conversion. Getting your conversion ratio from an appointment to an agreement.
Yes.
Okay. That's a big one because if you can do that, your bottom line goes up, right? Our expenses are fixed. We go on the same amount of appointments, and we convert 25% more this year than we did last year. That extra money goes right to the bottom line. So that goes right in our pocketbooks towards our vacations and investments and all that stuff. So that's really what it's about, right here. What else? A couple more things. What else are you here for? Besides points for going on a cruise.
Wow.
We have a contest in our office. We have a contest in our office to win a cruise.
Oh,
And
nice.
points coming to a class is one of the criteria. So
Oh, really?
How about finding more seller leads?
finding more leads. That's where it starts. Give me one more. What else?
My goal is, like, I want to learn like, key factors on marketing to those leads and you find them and get them to be listings in that 90 days or shorter. Obviously.
So be a little more specific on that. So you look into.
I think it's kind of the converting, but you know, it's the marketing to get those leads.
Where you spend your money to get the leads.
In.
Okay.
Or turning those leads into appointments.
Mm-hmm.
No, why not actually see it? Did you sign it?
Okay, cool. Good thing is we're going to cover all that today. So like I said, a lot of stuff I'm going to say to you today may seem over your head. It may seem, you may have a limiting belief in the back of your brain that says, no chance that I can do this. Now, Win with Sellers is a class taught by Keller Williams. This is a full day class. We're going to have that full day class in the next month. However, this is like a little preview of what that would look like in an hour and a half. And then we're going to go deep into the particulars of it all into that one day class. So, think about 90 listings in 90 days. Think about what that would do for your life. Even if they were terrible listings. You know, like $100,000 listings, what would that look like? So, I know it's possible because I've done it. Let's just say I'm 50% wrong. You leave here today with enough information to get 45 listings in 90 days. Can we all agree that would be stellar?
Yeah.
What if I'm 75% wrong? And you leave here today, and the next 9 days you get 25 listings. And you sell 2/3 of them. You be happy with that? All right. So when I talk about 90 listings, when I talk about 90 listings in 90 days, I'm talking to you because it's possible. It's possible if you put the right focus, put the right people in place, but you can't do everything to get 90 listings in 90 days. Who here has a team? Well, I would say you're all right and you're all wrong at the same time. You all have a team. Your team's sitting here. Well, no, you're sitting back there. But your team's sitting here. This is what we do. We take as much leverage off of you as possible to help you focus on doing what? Do that. So let's go through some stuff. There's a lot of information. There's 29 pages of it. We're going to take down some notes, and then at the end, we're going to circle 3 things that you're going to go home today and implement immediately. Because again, not everything up here is going to be your brand of vodka. But pick a couple things that are. I'm going to focus on that. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's go. So this is a class that was written a while ago. It was presented at Family Reunion by MAPS Coaching. I was at this class, and I know these guys very well, and they helped me when I went to my 90-day 90 list challenge. And it was my process to do it was extremely grueling. It was caught set up in the office. I mean, it was like you go to your family and go, see you in 90 days. Because that's the kind of commitment it takes to get done. But you don't just show up one day and say, tomorrow I'm going to start the process of 90 listings in 90 days. 30 days before that, I had put systems in place. We started prospecting for that before it happened. So, does that make sense? You can't just show up one day and go, here we go. So somebody read up on the board what that says by Gary Keller. Don't read, I know that.
By focusing on big goals, you will be focusing on developing big goals that will always be appropriate to achieving your highest levels of success.
Right. So, if you achieve your goals aren't big enough. I can honestly tell you that I haven't achieved all my goals in the past 5 years. Every year. But on the process of trying to achieve that goal, I have done amazing things. Now, 90 listings in 90 days, again, that's a big goal. What if you put the actions and steps in place and you took 60? Still one heck of a quarter. Right? So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about having a big vision, putting the systems in place, and going for it. I'll tell you a quick story. When I got into coaching first in 2010, my coach said to me, I want you by the end of the year to have 10 rolling listings. I had 2. So by the end of the year, I want you to have 10. And I don't mean 10 between actives, between pendings. I mean 10 active listings that are active. I said, okay, I can do that. I got 4, and then 2 would sell. I get to 7, and then 3 would sell. I get to 8, and it kept going backwards. But I finally got to 10. And in the process, I sold 20 homes. Because I was just trying to get to 10. That's all I thought about. Get 10 listings, get 10 listings. But as I was getting them, they were selling. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it was a small goal. But my coach knew what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. He set me up to know that as I was trying to get to 10 listings, what was going to happen? I was going to sell stuff. And it became overwhelming to the point where I thought I was going to need leverage fast. I didn't focus on buyers, but however, I closed 6 buyers. How'd that happen? How do you think I closed that many buyers in the process of getting 10 listings?
Fire leads through your signs.
Exactly. So I leveraged a piece of metal in the ground to get me buyers. Or I leveraged my KW website to get more buyers. I didn't just go out and do it. So that's what we're talking about, big goals. All right, so here's some places we're going to talk about to get listings. That was one of the things. We wanted to where to get them, right? So, what's that list say? Just shut them out.
Sphere, Circle Prospecting, Expires, Rent Goes, Dispos, Sign Calls, Door Knocking, Social Media.
Right. Can one human person do all that?
Yes.
But you'll have a cat in the office.
Now, no human person can master 11.
Oh, you didn't say master, you said do it.
No chance. What we're going to do is you're going to pick 3.
Okay.
And as we go through this, you're gonna think, think about your personality. You all know who you are. I know who most of you are. And I know what you'll do and what you won't do. So think about, what will I do? If you're already saying, I'm not doing this, then please don't put it on your list. Because I'm not getting a couch and therapy, I'm putting you people through therapy to get you to do for sale by owners. If you want to do it, I'll help you do it. But if it's not something you're going to do, then don't put it on your list. All right, sphere. What does sphere mean? Sphere of influence. What does that mean? What's that other?
Sphere of influence.
What's it a lingo for?
The people you know.
People closest to you. Friends, man.
Friends.
Right. What do we call that in sales? Your what?
Database.
Your database. Now, would you think that somebody will want to be part of your sphere of influence or your database? Right. I took it a step further than that. I opened what I call the VIP program. Now, if I said, Jim, do you want to be part of my VIP program or do you want to be part of my database? Which one would you prefer?
VIP program.
And I don't care if you like being a VIP or not. If somebody says to you, I want you to be part of my VIP program, you're in. Because what does a VIP usually get?
Special treatment.
Special treatment. You expect special treatment when you go there. You expect, if you're going to go to an event, you expect special seating, belly parking, things like that, right? That's what we're looking for. Be part of a database, I feel like I'm on Star Trek. You're going to put me in a big computer and I'm going to be just a number. So right now we need to change our language. So when we're talking about sphere of influence, we're talking about what? Tell me back. What did we just say?
VIP.
VIP program. Get that in your mind. I want you to be part of my VIP program. Face to face. Would you agree or would you not agree that you have to talk to people that talk back to you?
Mm-hmm.
And so getting face-to-face meetings, so what are some ways we can do that? So give me some examples of some ways we can get face-to-face meetings with people.
Open houses.
People that we know.
Okay, we know.
Invite them out to lunch, coffee, bring them
School.
treats to their office.
All great ways, right? You guys in social groups, like you guys ever go with friends to like a bar or to things like that, right? So those are great opportunities. How often do you think you should get face-to-face with your, say, top 25% of your database? How often would you say?
Monthly.
Monthly's frequent, but what do you think you can get away with?
Quarterly.
I think quarterly. Your top 20, so let's say you have 100 people in your database, and we would hope that you'd have more, but let's say we're starting off and we have 100 people in my sphere of influence. 25 of them are flag waving, hear about real estate, I think about you kind of people. That's who we talk about, right? Can we treat everybody in our database equally? No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't, because somebody who's not going to give you the right email address versus somebody who's going to name you as a referral for everybody they meet, who are we taking to lunch? You know, I'm going to take this person to lunch before I take off somebody I met at an open house 3 years ago. I did one deal with them, but I don't even know if they still live in that house. So we need to categorize them. We talked about that in Ignite into A, B's, and C's. So our A's are who we take out. That's who we cater to. Now, what's our objective of the A, B's, and C's? Does anyone remember that from Ignite? What's our objective?
Move them up to the next category.
Right, so we want to move them up. Every single year, we want to get the C's to the B's and the B's to the A's. That's our objective. So we don't want to forget about our B's and C's, but we want to make sure that we're giving them attention and trying to move them up. Anyone remember the formula on what ratio it is to versus how many people you have in your database and how many closed deals that is in the MREA book? 12 to 1. 12 to 2, I'm sorry. So 12 to 2. So for every 12 people you have in your VIP program, between referral and direct closing, there's 2 deals. So that's money in the bank, right? Who's got 100 people they know right now in the database? 100 people. 100, right? So what's 100 divided by 6?
100 divided by 6?
Yeah. It's 12-2 ratio.
Well, yeah.
That's about 12 deals in his bank just sitting there. They're gonna close with him. He doesn't know when, but if the process that we're talking about goes into place, it's gonna be soon. 12 to 18 months, they say, that's a turnover ratio. So think about that. Now, so we're saying this is a huge part of your business, but is it money in the bank today?
No.
No. But who wants to be calling for sale by owners and expired when they're 7 years in the business? I know people who do.
Nobody. Ain't nobody got time for that.
No. It's a great way to get launched in your business, to do it for 1, 2 years, but 7 years in the business, you're still calling for sale by owners and expires yourself, and that's your only source of business, you have done something seriously wrong. So that's what we're trying to prevent here. We're trying to prevent a predictable income through a VIP program. That no matter what market we're in, everybody gets paid. Who would love that? Right? Who would love to not care about turning on the TV and having them go, well, the stock market's going down and the interest rates are going up. Who cares? I got 500 people that have my flag outside of their house. They don't have a Tampa Bay Buccaneers flag. They have my flag. They don't care who's on TV. They're just going to worry about me. Because no matter what market we're in, are people going to get married? Are people going to get divorced? Are people going to grow and they're going to have kids? So those people need to be the people you're in a relationship with. Social media. Who here has a Facebook page? If you don't, you're liable to something else to do. Facebook's huge. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We went to a class a couple weeks ago out in the Florida Mall area. Is anybody else there? Did you guys go to that? Was that awesome?
It was awesome.
I mean, really, there's some ahas I had on that. What he talked about with
Magnificent Seven.
Seven wonders.
yeah, and it was 100 times more relationships, 100 times more stronger online. They build 100 times faster online than they do in person. So you can get to a point with somebody on Facebook faster than you can with them in person. Because if they're friends with you on Facebook for 15 minutes, they know who your relationship's with, who your kids are, what you do for work, when you went to high school. Some of us who post a lot of things when you went to the bathroom. I mean, depending on what's happening on Facebook world. Yeah, I mean, checking in here, checking in there. They know a lot about you in 15 minutes. So social media is everything. Who has 100 friends on Facebook? 200? 500? Who has them all living in Orlando? There's a limiting belief in there, though. You can feel it in the energy that if they're not in Orlando, I shouldn't talk to them.
Not true.
Not true. I texted my 9 people this morning. We live in the 3-location capital of the world. 500 out of the 1,100 people on my Facebook page are from Boston, Massachusetts. And 500 of those people threatened me in February in the Super Bowl when I was grilling outside and they couldn't move. I think of maybe 25 of them might think about moving to Orlando or someplace down this way. So I reach out to all of them constantly, liking their stuff on Facebook. That was one of the things in the class, right? Make sure you like stuff on, follow up, and things like that. So Facebook's a great way. You're on there anyway, right? Just seeing what's happening in the world. We'll get our news on Facebook. So use that as a resource. And identify your investors. You know, does anybody here work with investors? I didn't used to promote this until I moved here. This is a huge investor opportunity. A lot of foreign money coming in here. So, you know, where I used to live wasn't a big deal. You know, investing wasn't a lot of outside of the United States people investing in my area. But here, if you don't have at least a couple people investors in your pipeline, you're missing the boat. Because they're not just coming here to buy $50,000 houses. They're coming here with a lot of money, a lot of cash. So they used to be a waste of time. I have changed my thinking on that now, as I've seen the results in my office. We did 95 transactions last month at our office. 40 of them were cash transactions. And I would say probably half of them were investors. It's a lot. A lot. 20%. So any questions about the sphere of influence so far? some aha moments you guys kind of come to life about how important that is? Who got their real estate license thinking they could get a predictable income?
All the time, yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't get the real estate license thinking you're gonna fail, right?
No.
I would hope that we would be in business with people who thought they were gonna fail from day one. But who knew it was commission based when they signed up? Good. I didn't. Nobody told me. I got to that point in the book, I'm like, really? This is how we get paid? I have to go convince people that I don't even like to work with me? It was an aha moment. Some examples of what you can do on Facebook. You know, just how a thread can go viral so fast. Anybody curious about seeing your home value? It's probably a good post to put right about now. Wouldn't put it 5 times a day though. I would say 1 out of every 5 posts should be real estate related. You don't want to be posting every day. Who wants to know what their home value is? Who wants to know what their home value is? Interest rates are down, interest rates are up. Sold another house today. Great. Delete. Alright. So circle prospecting, another source of business. Source number 2. 2 out of the 10. Is anybody doing this? Do just listed, just sold, things like that? Anybody doing it?
Yeah.
Awesome. So talk about some experiences they've had, results, and things like that. What have you had for success?
Oh, I've had a ton of success. I've been doing it for 30 years.
Awesome.
I've been mailing just listed, just sold. That's my primary mail piece. Because you want to demonstrate success, and that's success. You know, and if you do it often enough, the calls just start coming in. It's like magic, actually. But you got to invest. Costs a little money.
Are you targeting areas, or are you just kind of just?
Well, no, I have a whole policy on this. My policy is that I try to mail to my same area all the time. You know, and I've just set up 500 addresses that I'm starting to work here now. So when I do and I also do open house invitations by mail. So when I do those, I just rotate it through my farm continuously. Even if the property, I just sold something in Baldwin Park, my farm's over in Ivanhoe Village, I'm mailing Ivanhoe Village about my sale in Baldwin Park. Now, I also do when I sell something far out of area that really doesn't really relate, like I just sold something in Ocoee. I'm going to do 100 around the listing and around the sale in Ocoee. I'm not going to do my 500 there because I want to focus on the area over here. So why am I going to tell them that I sold something out in Ocoee? It just doesn't make that much sense. But anything that's in this general vicinity goes back to my farm. And I rotate through it. I try to touch them at least once a month, sometimes twice a month.
So that's a great strategy. So if you guys were able to pick that apart, so he's got 500 people. Now I bet you could talk to him in 24 months. That will grow to probably 7.
Oh, it'll grow. It'll keep growing.
You don't even have to do anything. It will naturally grow because
Right.
that's how it works. But then he says if he sells something in Ocoee, he's also hitting just solds of 100 of those people. And the reason he's doing that is because simply we all know that if a listing goes up in sales, there's another one's going to pop up real quick.
I just sent that out actually in this morning.
So the numbers are, he's playing a numbers game.
Right.
You know, there's a 70% chance he'll get a call on that. There's a 30% chance he won't. But I'll take those numbers all day long.
But I'll tell you something, after you keep doing this for a while, you don't have to do anything else.
Right.
I mean, really, you don't. Because your phone just rings. You know, because they get the impression that you're the only one who does any business in that neighborhood.
So simultaneously, he's a farmer, which we'll get to, and he's building a sphere of influence. So he's got 2 sources right there, but he's building them simultaneously, which is pretty cool.
And there's lots of hints on how to do that too, by the way, if anyone wants to know.
But just another way of thinking, that's all. And don't think that it has to be always your listing. Some people in the room are brand new.
Just careful you don't run afoul of the realtor code of ethics.
Yeah, just make sure that you don't say, I listed this property. If you just give it a market update that, hey, this is some listings that just came in the area.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
a list of listings is fine. You
Yeah.
can't, unless you have permission from the other agent, which you can get sometimes.
Just very cool. Or if you're the buyer or the agent and you sell a property, you did just sell that property. Because there's a 90% chance that listing agent is going to go right to the mortgage payment with that check and have no money left over to go send out just sold. So you can send, I used to send one as a buyer's agent all the time, and it was really no foul because,
You just have to say, I participated in the sale. You can't say I just sold, because just sold is only for the listing agent.
right.
You have to say, I participated in the sale, and you're good.
So it's just another way of thinking. Power dialers and headphones we're going to talk about in here as well, because I want to get away from limiting beliefs that power dialers and headsets are just for people who call expireds and for sale by owners. We're going to get into that in a little while, but it's a very huge limiting belief that I only wear a headset and have a power dialer for expireds. Yes, a lot of people who do expireds for that reason have a power dialer, but I know some people have 5 to 100 to 1,000 people in their database that want to call them frequently, and they just load it into a power dialer. Doesn't mean they call them expired, it just means that they're keeping in touch with people, three people with one dial. So we'll get into that a little bit. So this is what a power dialer would look like. There's one that's called Mojo. Now, if you're planning on building a business fast, this could be an option for you. Some people like them, some people don't. I had one because I like being able to call 3 people with one dial. In an hour and a half, I can call 100 people. Because sometimes you're going to get a lot of answering machines. You'll leave a message on the auto dialer, and when the answering machine picks up, it'll just leave a message, pre-recorded. So it's just a good way, as you start to grow, to be able to keep in touch and keep your customer service very, very good with not having to spend any more time. Because that's the thing I hear about all the time from people. They go, well, my database is so big, I can't call them all. Well, for a small investment, you can get them all.
How much is that?
I think it's $125 a month. It's not, if you get that kind of database activity, you know, one deal a year pays for it. One deal a year pays for it. So there's all kinds of different ones. Mojo is ones that I happen to like because nothing's worse than putting your power dialer on and having it not work. And there was a lot of ones out there that were cheaper than Mojo, but I'd wake up at 8 a.m. I'd come in to do my calls, and it'd be down till like 11. Well, that screws my whole day. You know, I've preloaded all the numbers in there. I need to get in there. So Mojo, it happened to it, but it didn't happen to it a lot. It was like a once a quarter kind of thing instead of once a week. So again, not trying to make a sales pitch for it, but it made my life a lot easier because I could get to doing what I wanted to do faster in the day. I knew how many calls I had to make, so what's the difference if I made them by hand or if I didn't? Script right here, if you guys want to get, we're going to give you guys slides for this. Everybody in the class is going to get this email to them. It's also, you can download it through the Family Reunion website. It's there as well, but if you want, we can send this out to you. But there's a script here for circle prospecting. And you guys can role play this with each other. It's really good, really good. One of the ones I used to do too when I just listed a property, I would say to people, this is very, very generic, just listed a house on 123 Main Street. I'm giving you the opportunity to pick your neighbor before I pick them. How many times in your life have you wished you could pick your neighbor? Almost everyone, right? At one point in their life, wish they could pick their neighbor. Well, I'm giving that opportunity. I'm having an open house event this Saturday from 11 to 1. Come pick your neighbor. Anybody you want to live next to, bring them. I'll worry about pre-approval, but just bring them. You get traffic that way, because it's different than saying to someone, do you know anybody who wants to live in the neighborhood? What have you opened yourself up to if you say that?
No.
You never want the word no.
You can also do an hour earlier that's VIP only for neighbors.
Well, that's a great idea. You know,
I used to do that.
yeah, it's VIP for neighbors. But if you do it as if giving you an opportunity to pick your neighbor, who would you like to live next to? Their brain automatically does what? It does a mental Rolodex. Who do I want to live next to? And they're gonna call them. Maybe they won't give you that name right there, and that's okay. I'm saying, listen, I'm not looking for their name. I'm telling you where I'm going to be from 11 to 1 on Saturday, and I would love to see you and that person there. My lender will be there too, and we're going to pre-approve them right on the spot if they're not pre-approved. Wouldn't that be great? See you then, next house. I'm not looking to marry these people. This is a 5-second conversation. You can do a phone call too. You can go there in person, phone call, whatever you prefer. Get listings. Expireds. Is anybody in here currently doing expired calls? Yeah, how is it working for you?
Well, I just began last week.
Just began last week. So what are you using to get your numbers?
From the manage I don't have Moho.
Yeah.
I have Melinda Arada.
Uh-huh.
They have some numbers that are working well, others not good.
Mhm.
And then if the number is not there, I know, but I plan to know when they have because I begin as well.
Good. So, expired used to be, when I was selling, that was it. If you can master expired, you would make $150,000 to $200,000 a year without blinking an eye. That day has come and gone, which is why I tell you to think of 3 sources. Because when that dried up, I still got deals out of it, but it wasn't as many. You can call for the expired list in 15 minutes now. Back then, every day there were 50 expired numbers. So, you know, it's a great source because expired listings are doing this, right? I want to sell, but I have a moron selling my house. So I can't. There are different, you know, right now, focusing on old expires is probably your best bet. From like 07 to 13, because what happened in those years? We call those the dark years of real estate, right? Everything crashed and burned. So there were tons of expireds then. So there's a system called RedX that you can get. They'll actually cross-reference it for you. And I think if you prepay it for the quarter, it's like $50 a month. But you go into MLS and you can export, you can do the search from 07 to 13. I do it like year by year for zip code, export it, and you can import it as an Excel spreadsheet into RedX and hit go. And it will cross-reference to make sure that you're not calling people who have already sold, relisted, things like that. It'll give you only the names and numbers of people who still live in that house.
RedX?
RedX, yeah. And they call it RedX because of the red X next to anybody that they're not calling. So that's what I used. I used Mojo and I used RedX. And I was calling people 2, 3, 4 years old and absolutely crushing the market. Because I was getting no objections. There was no, you're the 47th person to call me.
Right.
Because nobody's thinking that far out. They would just call 5 people and they would go to the beach, right? I didn't even listen today, come on. 10 minutes into the office. So I was thinking, I would call people who couldn't sell their house back then. Because would you agree, yes or no, that we're way higher in price point than we were then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we are. So maybe people who were on the bubble then couldn't sell, can sell now. But they don't know it yet. So my script for that was, I saw you on the market back in 2007, 2008, and you couldn't get it sold. Right now the market's up 9% year over year. When can I come over and show you how much you're up? You know, some people are still interested in moving, some people aren't, but it's a numbers game like we talked about. You have no idea if you put the specific zip code you work into 07 through 13, how many expires will pop up. It will be ridiculous. You'll have to do it a couple times because it stops at 500. You can only load 500 at a time. So you could spend a month doing that, 2 months. So it's just another way to think. You can do it all by hand. It will take you forever. Like I said, you could hire a system to do it for you. Vulcan is one of them, Vulcan 7, RedX, and not Arch Telecom, you can't import. Landvoice is the other one you can import. Vulcan's tough to get and it's expensive. They only have so many zip codes per agency. So you can only, like, if we have 5 agents in a zip code, they will shut it off. You can't get it anymore. But the numbers are fantastic. Very rarely do you get a wrong number. So, this is a different way to approach expireds, because right now, if you're an expired person, you're good at them, call them daily ones are killing you because everybody's calling the same 5. It's tough. Here's a great expired script. Again, you're gonna get this. You can go on to Google and you can Google Mike Ferry expired script. All the Mike Ferry stuff will pop up. I mean, basically it's just asking questions. That's all you're doing, you're asking questions. Do you still want to sell? Why do you think it didn't sell? Where are you moving to? I kept asking questions until they hung up on me and gave me the appointment. So in our office we had a sheet like this, and we never called alone. Calling expireds alone is like social suicide. It is grueling. Because what word do you think you hear all the time?
No.
No. And you're starting your day with a tremendous amount of energy, right? You guys get out of bed and you're like, let's do this today. That's my group, right?
That's my day.
Yeah. And then by the end of 11 o'clock, hitting expireds, you are just. But I did it in a group. A group about 2, 3, 4 people. It's fun. Because we called the hang up game. We wanted to see who could get the most hang ups. Well, right? So it makes sense. We're celebrating a hang up. It sounds ridiculous, but that's one no closer to a what?
Yes.
Exactly. So for every no we got, or a hang up, it was, we knew how many, we had it broken down to how many hang ups we knew we had to get before we got an appointment. That's how good we knew our numbers. So it just became a game in the team. So every time somebody hung up on us, we write the name down and we celebrate. We wrote the name down, why?
But I have a question.
Yeah.
On Medix, is the only search engine to find expireds, or can it search for different parameters?
MLS?
Red-X, you know?
Yeah,
Oh,
Red.
Redex? No, Redex
That's
is
the
for sale by owners and expires.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, I knew that it was the cross reference.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you could have a different, if you could search for something different other than just
I
that.
only know about for sale by owners and expires, but you can give them a call and see they've expanded their horizons, because I know they might do like a pre-foreclosure list now, things like that. So I'm not quite sure, but I know that they did those too. So we wrote the name down. Why do you think we wrote the name down?
So you never go back to them.
Because we're all about time, right? So if I got a hold of John Smith and he hung up on me, do I want her to call this person? I want her to get an appointment. The whole point of us going together is we're all of us get appointments. We're competing, yes, but we won't want her to call him because she gets the same result. What's fun is when you all get an appointment with the same person. That's when life becomes fun. You know, when you get 3 people in the room and you all say, we're meeting, we're getting an appointment, because you don't talk about it. You just write down appointment, then we go over the appointments later, and we're all going to the same place. It's fun. I mean, we're all independently owned companies, just because we're all with Keller Williams. I would want to get in first, because then we can slam the door on the other 2. But it's just a competition, but it's fun. If you're gonna cold call like this, doing it, I would recommend doing it in a group. Because I can guarantee you, if I did a disc on every single person in this room, 80% of you, your biggest fear is rejection. And if you're gonna do this by yourself, you'll do anything you can do not to do this. If you're by yourself, we'll find you somewhere by Joe Jones's office or Jim's office, trying to find somebody to talk to. Anything besides doing this. So again, this isn't your brand of vodka, not a big deal, but it's a great source. If you can do it this way, it'll be a great way to do it. Rank Boss, I was never really into it, but it is an option. You know, calling off Craigslist and trying to get rentals and trying to convert them. The ratio is not the highest. However, there are some people that just want that. I knew a girl in my office, she did about $40,000 a year just in rentals. She just happened to have that niche. I would rather just stick a fork in my throat. Because it's not a lot of money for a lot of work. But if you have no money and you have no leads, you can start somewhere, right? And somebody's gonna help them do something. And you never know, you might come across a gold mine. But that's kind of like just walking up to the roulette table, putting $1,000 on one of the numbers and let's do this, right? That's what it's like. So again, it's a source, but it's the lowest conversion source that we're going to talk about today. FSBOs, who can tell me what that means?
Fastest source of business opportunity.
I like that. That's good. What else? What does it actually mean in like the real estate world?
Sale by owner.
The sale by owner, right. So Gary Keller says this: you don't have enough leads to satisfy your income. You do 3 open houses a week and call every for sale by owner you can get your hands on, and in 90 days you'll have more leads than you can ever know what to do with. That's a strategy. So 3 open houses a week, what does that look like? You all just got real funky on that.
It doesn't sound like fun to me, actually.
I mean, what's 3 open houses a week look like? This is
door knocking Monday through Thursday, open houses Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
You could do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll tell you my most successful open house was Thursday night from 4 to 6. I have no idea why Thursday worked in my market, but I would get a hot listing on Saturday. I'd put an MLS on Monday, and I would say no showings until the open house Thursday at 4 to 6. You would be surprised at what things you would have. I would show up there at 3:30. There'd be lines of cars on both sides of the street.
That's because you're restricted too.
Exactly.
Saying no
What did I
showing.
build? Excitement. Build anticipation, excitement, right? I would get people calling me, come on, buddy, we've done deals together before. Let me in. Sorry, I can't. Still, I need to. Off goes to the bottom. I mean, there was a point where I was doing open houses like that, and I would just stand at the door with an offer sheet, just hand them out as people came in. Best and final by tomorrow at noon. Best and final by tomorrow at noon. That's all I was getting. And it wasn't even that good of a market. It was a horrible market. But it was just about how you market. Somebody name one of their favorite singers or bands. Anybody? Nobody, don't judge me.
Yeah, there will be judgment.
Let's name one. Cher. Cher. Alright, so Cher comes to the Amway Center. Right? So what happens if tonight Cher walks off the bus and walks into the Amway Center right now? What's going to happen?
No one's gonna be there.
She's going to be pretty pissed. Because 6 months ago, somebody didn't tell us she was coming. Now, if 6 months ago they said, Cher's coming, her 54th final tour this year, maybe they would have sold it out.
Oh, they would have sold
They would have sold it out, right? Because they built what?
And
That's why everybody has a goodbye tour 7 times. Because it's the goodbye tour. If I say tomorrow I'm resigning as a team leader, then you start me at Remax, you'd be pretty pissed. So we're building anticipation at this open house. That's why when I did it, I didn't have anybody come into the house until the open house. It was strategic.
That was for your own listing, though, wasn't it? I mean, what odds are, if we're doing an open house for,
For somebody else,
Someone
probably not
else,
as good.
yeah.
Odds, yeah. If you're doing it, but still, if you can get somebody who's like a Joe Jones who listed 4 or 5 a week, that says, listen, I just got a listing and I can't do an open house this weekend. Well, I'll do it for you. Still, if you do it on an odd time and nobody else does it, you're gonna get more people. I think Thursday night worked for me because nobody else had them. And if I was working in a market like you are, where houses sell like that, and I was the only open house, how many buyers do you think I'm gonna get? So that's why Gary's saying right now, 3 or 4 open houses a week, and calling for sale by any you can, you're gonna make more money than you can ever think about. You will kill mega agents doing it the old way. So 3 open houses a week isn't a lot, by the way. You can do one Thursday night, and then do one Saturday from 11 to 1, and Saturday from 2 to 4, and take Sunday off. Who's cool with that? Doesn't mean you have to do it from Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Anybody who does an open house longer than a couple hours is wasting their time anyway. If they're coming, they're coming. We don't need to give them 7 hours to get there. I saw somebody do one the other day, it was like 10 to 6. I said, what are you doing, moving in? I mean, we gonna serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Have Panera and speed dial? I mean, no chance I'm doing that. I can do 3 open houses at 3 different locations in that amount of time and get 3 different sources of leads. So 2 hours max for me. 11 to 1, 2 to 4, take Sunday off. I think that's a good start. That's a good lifestyle, right? You work your butt off on Saturday and take Sunday off. The rule of thumb, and I don't want to get too off track on open houses, but the rule of thumb is this. You do an open house for every buyer you don't have up to 4. The average agent can do 4 buyers max. You're maxed out at 4 buyers because they drive you crazy, right? So 4 pre-approved buyers is about as much as you can do. So if you had 2 buyers that were pre-qualified, how many open houses do you need to do? 2 in a week. If you had 0, how many you need to do? 4. That's the formula. It's always worked for me. It's a great formula. So if you live by that formula, you'll always have something in the pipeline. Now, if you want to continue to have no buyers and continue to do 4 open houses a week, you may have no life. But if you did, I can guarantee you, when you come back to me in 90 days and you tell me, if you did exactly that, get 3 open houses a week for 90 days and called every for sale by owner, he would come and shake my hand and go, we're going to lunch. I got a lot of leads. It's just a matter of doing it. So for sale by owners. So, do you have to get all the for sale by owners yourself? I can give you a trick to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Think about your A and B's in your database for a minute. What if you issued a challenge to all the A's and B's in your database? That for every for sale by owner you send me that you drive by, I will take you to lunch.
A lot of lunches.
You think so? See how you do it. You won't get a lot. You'll get enough. You'll still get more than you would get on your own because you can't drive everywhere. Or you can send them a $5 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts or something like that. Whatever makes sense to you. I would say my top people I would take to lunch. But if you kill them 2 birds with 1 stone because you're doing what? You're contacting your database and you're getting leads while you're not even there. It's tough if you work just in downtown Orlando to know what Dr. Phillips for sale by owners are doing. But if you work in downtown Orlando and somebody gives you a hot lead on a for sale by owner, would you drive there to go? Or in Dr. Phillips, if you drive to Soto to take a for sale by owner listing. It's not that far. But you would never drive here to go home. But if you had a client that happened to live here, they gave you the lead, thanks a lot. Call them up, set up a preview, and go over. So it's another source of a way to get for sale by owners. Some additional strategies. Talked about open houses. Talked about door knocking, sign calls, just sold, aggressive lead follow-up. Who here is aggressive with the follow-up? First of all, who here does open houses at all? How long between the time you leave the open house and the time you follow up, call them, how much time has lapsed?
Same day.
Next day?
That's right.
Who said a few hours?
I email that same day.
You don't want to stalk them.
I email the same day if they provide the email, and
Yep.
when I go home, I email the same day. And write a note card and put it in so the next couple of days.
That's the pattern right there. That is the picture perfect follow-up system. I am horrible at systems. Hence, these lovely ladies right here. Horrible at systems. But I used to carry my open house thank you cards with me because if I didn't mail them on the way home, I would be done. It wouldn't get done. So, anybody who does open